Hi everyone, this series is just unique and no one has ever attempted to present a content such as this. We have discussed so many things so far, right? We have understood the structure of the Vedas, we have studied the Purusha Sukta prophecy of Jesus Christ, we have seen the karma and phala doctrine and even the state of the Hindus today who have departed from the Vedas completely and how the Vedas are currently only decorated in their hearts as the chanting for the vibrations of their sounds. How unfortunate, right? In this video, we will discover some mind-blowing facts that you have ever known about who authored the Vedas and why was the Prajapati prophecy mentioned in the Vedas in the first place. This knowledge is really necessary for all of you to understand and connect the dots. So let's get into it, guys. I have mentioned earlier that the Vedas were written anywhere between 1500 BC to 1200 BC. That is right around the same time when Moses compiled the Torah or the Pentateuch or the first 5 books of the Bible. This was a well-documented fact. And we know that there were at least 430 years between Abraham and Moses. So until the time of Moses, the Torah was passed through the generations orally. The same was the case with the Vedas as well. This means the Vedas must have originated a few hundred years before 1500 BC. This information is important because I am claiming that the Vedas were authored by none other than the descendants of Abraham. Don't be shocked. I have evidence for what I am saying here. So, if there are 430 years between Abraham and Moses, then Abraham lived around 1800 BC. This time period is also accurate according to the ancient Jewish tradition and many Jewish manuscripts apart from the Bible as well. Anyway, the evidence that some of the descendants of Abraham migrated and settled in India was actually mentioned in the Bible in Genesis chapter 25 and verse 6, which says, "But to the sons of his concubines Abraham gave gifts, and while he was still living, he sent them away from his son Isaac eastward to the east country." If Abraham was living in the land of Canaan in Genesis chapter 25 and verse 6, which is today located in the region of southern Levant, which country would be the east country, right? The region of Levant encompasses parts of modern-day Israel, the West Bank, Jordan, Lebanon, and southern Syria. So the east country could be modern-day Iraq or Iran or ancient India, which includes Afghanistan and Pakistan. The ancient biblical names of these 3 regions were Mesopotamia, Persia, and Indus Valley civilization because Afghanistan and Pakistan were part of this civilization, which is nothing but the ancient India, guys. Do you know that ancient India was called Hodu in the Bible? Yes, it was mentioned in Esther chapter 1 verse 1 and chapter 8 verse 9, which refers to the region encompassing the Indus River. It is interesting to note that the words Hodu and Hindu also match. Could this be a coincidence? I don't think so. Anyway, we know that some of the descendants of Abraham settled in Mesopotamia and Persia. These were the sons of Ishmael and they called themselves the Arab people, who are the ancestors of the current day Muslims. In Genesis chapter 17 and verse 20, God blesses Ishmael and promises to make him a great nation. The verse reads like this: "As for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and multiply him greatly. He shall father 12 princes, and I will make him into a great nation." And this prophecy was fulfilled, and Ishmael received the land of Mesopotamia and Persia. But we read in Genesis chapter 25 and verse 6 that the sons of Abraham's concubines were sent away to the east country. If Mesopotamia and Persia were taken by the Arab people, the descendants of Ishmael, according to the promise of God, the only country left was ancient India, guys. So Abraham's other sons, that is the sons of his concubines, must have settled in India and beyond. I believe some of these were the first settlers in the Indus Valley civilization. In fact, the time period of their migration perfectly matches with the historical documents as well. The Indo-Aryan migration into India happened around the time of 1750 BC, as shown in this picture. I have mentioned this in detail in one of my first Hinduism series videos, that these sons of Abraham gained a lot of knowledge, especially from living in the Sumerian civilization, and also some knowledge of God through Abraham himself. So they have mixed everything and produced the Vedas, which they thought were unique. This is the reason why there will be so many similarities in what the Bible teaches about the sin, sacrifices, and redemption, and the Vedas, especially the Rig Veda. And yes, they call themselves the Aryan civilization. Do you know why? Aryan is derived from its root word Arya, which means noble, pure, or good. So Aryans mean honorable and superior people. They carried a lot of pride because of their puffed up knowledge, and also due to the fact that they were kicked out of the promised land by their father Abraham. Hence, they wanted to start a new civilization in a new land and become the best in everything. And they did become the best in almost all areas of life, especially in science and technology, medicine, arts, architecture, and whatnot. But the knowledge of God stayed back with the chosen people, that is the children of promise, the descendants of Isaac, that is the Israelites. Why? Because they were supposed to be the salt and the light of the world, so that the world may know about God. They were supposed to be the people through whom God would reveal himself, and then this prophecy was fulfilled through Jesus Christ, who was a Jew. Having said that, the Aryans carried with them some of the prophecies of the coming Messiah, that is Jesus Christ. They call this Messiah as the Prajapati, which literally means the Lord of the people. This is the reason why some of the prophecies of Jesus Christ were actually found in the Vedas. Now, I have one more evidence that these Aryans were actually the descendants of Abraham. Time and again, we witness the Hindus claim that they were not part of the Abrahamic religions, correct? But if you ask them who is their father and who is their mother, would they not say Abraham and Sarah? Yes, they would. In their language, the ancient Sanskrit, Abraham became Brahma and Sarah became Saraswati. And the Brahmins call themselves the children of Brahma, and hence their name. Literally, the sons of Abraham are called the Brahmins. There lies the proof right in their own faces, guys. So if Abraham's sons migrated to India, their descendants could have influenced the religious traditions that later became the Vedic scriptures. This clearly explains why the Brahmins first appear in the Purusha Sukta of the Rig Veda as the head of the cosmic being, the Purusha, just as Abraham was the head of God's people, right? Having said that, it doesn't mean that everyone must now study the Vedas. I'm not validating the Vedas by any means here. However, based on what we have learned so far, Vedas definitely have been influenced by the ancient Hebrew teachings. But the deception of Satan is so great, not just in the Vedas, but also in the other religious texts. If we look at the history, Satan creates counterfeit religions to oppose the truth. This not only happened throughout history, but it is happening in modern times as we speak, guys. Satan creates these religions using some element of truth from the Word of God, but he introduces a lot of progressive and convincing material that can stumble any person easily. He cunningly uses the element of truth so as to draw people into these false religions, and once they are in, he sucks them in, leading them away and away from the truth. The same was the case with the Vedas, and we have seen what happened to the Hindus as the time progressed. Now the Hindus are completely disconnected from the Vedas, which at least have some element of the truth amidst a lot of rituals, false teachings, and allegories. Because of that, The Hindus currently are in a deep state of deception. All we need to do for them is a lot of prayer for God to create circumstances around them to break away from their blind spots and to see very clearly. One of such attempts is the production of all these videos, guys. We will continue our discussion next week. So God bless you all, and I will see you in the next one.